well, it's
We're
hard to
gonna
keep
switch
the.
gears again. We're gonna go to Ray. So in preparation for Justice League. So of
Yeah.
course, the original Justice League that we were supposed to see before all that happened. When
Right.
you were preparing for Darkseid, did you go back and read comic books or to bring the role to life, or is it more fulfilling the script?
No, I really didn't go back and reference a lot of the comic books. I mean, obviously, I knew who Darkseid is and more or less, what the parameters, what the world is. But it was important to me to play the immediacy of the script, play the ball where it lies. If I tried to bring in 50 some odd years of history, then my performance would have really sucked. It was vital to in the moment play what was happening right then and there. I mean, it's a big ask anyway when you're playing a character like that, some sort of like archetype god who makes these, this is not a guy who, you can picture ordering.
He's not going to come out like Pee Wee Herman, right?
Precisely.
Exactly.
It's like pretty much everything's a declaration. Everything
Right.
is ex cathedra, and you don't, so to me, if you try to like layer a bunch of stuff on that, it's a fool's errand. You just simply play the ball where it lies. The script says this, and this happens between myself and Darkseid, or myself and Steppenwolf. That's what I'm going to play. It's enough of a job just to fill what's there in the script.
Right.
So
and again, it gets back to exactly what we were saying before. The comics, people in the general population have no concept of Darkseid whatsoever.
Exactly.
So, going back and researching a bunch of stuff that isn't really going to be relevant wouldn't make a whole lot of sense anyway.
No, exactly. I mean, there were a lot of people who were asking me about like, why doesn't Darkseid do his famous pose, with his arms behind his back? Obviously, I don't control the CGI in the film, but as far as, within the scenes I was in, there was no place where it was logical to do that. And as an actor, I have to like make a logical choice based on what I've got in the script.
But that's also a classic Jack Kirby pose too. Just by the way, Dr. Doom used to do it a lot too.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's tough to draw hands. No, I'm kidding. But and you do see a glimpse of it in the film. Obviously, but that's the director's job, is to make those nods to history and to make those nods to what is called canon. For the actor to try to play canon, my background is Shakespeare. I hit the stage with a role that's 500 years old that, 500 to 1,000 guys have played before. And I'm going to try to bring all of that with me. No, then it'll be terrible. I'm not in the museum business. I'm here to live in this role and to make it alive and a living, breathing thing for this person now who's maybe never seen it before. So obviously paying service to history, but it's got to be relevant now.
That gets back to the whole thing about your mother. Here is on Mother's Day. It's like your mother knows who Captain America is. Your mother does not know who Darkseid is. Okay,
correct.
So, that's what I'm saying. Correct. It's like there are certain things. I mean,
well, my mother knows who Darkseid is.
My poor mom, here I did Iron Man for what 30 years. My poor mom, rest her soul, did not realize what I did for a living until she saw the first Iron Man movie, and suddenly it all made sense to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And because she can comprehend that. The comic book is not anything she would ever even bother to try to read or comprehend.
Right.
Absolutely. And so it's just about it's how do I step into this character and make it a living, breathing, relevant, important thing to this storytelling right now. Any of the other concerns are for later. And of course, later is when I really had to like study, because I would have fans asking me questions that are like deep Darkseid stuff that I just don't know the answer to. So it's learning.
But I think the feedback that you got for the role has been very positive. The community,
people have been very happy about it. Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah. Did you have
people have been happy about the voice and about the choices that were made within it and all of that stuff. I mean, obviously, it was just a taste, and it was supposedly a precursor to getting more into what that story is and what that role is. Doesn't look very good for it continuing. I'd like to, just because I'd like to explore it further. And making money is nice, but yeah, I mean, with what I had, it was just important to fill it as much as I could, and so I've been very grateful that I got away with it.
Is the New Gods movie on hold too?
They cut it. That's gone. They shelved it. The New Gods thing that Ava was doing, just sort of mysteriously. Warner Brothers just went, "Hey, magic, poof, gone."
Okay. So it's not like she's not like she can't find work elsewhere.
No, exactly. So,
but Ray, we have something very special that you have your hands on, right? That we would like to show Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the privilege of getting to sign something. I'm hoping that someday I'll get Bob to sign something for me, but I have this.
Oh my God. My one and only taste of Darkside.
And it's got my autograph right there in silver.
Outstanding. So I guess I'm going to tag that when I get to Dubai.
Exactly. You will have to tag that one for sure.
So yes,
that's cool, right? Yeah, that was one of those fill-in jobs I did, when I was on contract.
It's incredible.
My one and only brush with the New Gods.
Right.
So, but it goes back to my argument with Rashid I have all the time that I've pretty much done everything ever.
Everything you can think of.
Amazing.
Well, that's the job of an artist. I mean, it's you go. I mean, I know as an actor, it's like you take the jobs that are available.
Yeah. That's why Valiant was so much easier for me, because I created the whole, most of it. So it was like it was much easier to police something that's your own creation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, I signed this.
That's so cool. I have not seen that in 40-something years.
I'm hoping that I can get you to sign something for me, Bob.
Oh, no problem, bro. You got it.
Great. Good.
Well, anyways, we're going to be meeting all of us in Dubai soon. So, inshallah, for the new store opening.
And these are for this autographed comic book, and some others like it. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, Rashid?
Yeah.
Well, yes, we're going to be we're supporting AFSP. That is, supported by Zack Snyder,
American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Yes, and we want to try to raise as much money that we can for them, because it's a just cause and a good cause, and Bob is always up for that. Anyways, I'm
always there for any good cause. You know that, brother.
I want to say a little bit about Bob. I mean, we've been, we've been together as a family now for almost more than 5 years, and Bob is a part of my family. He's known as Bobby Farooq in Dubai.
Bobby Farooq. Nice.
I am Uncle Bob to his children. Yes,
and he's the godfather of my latest baby.
Wow.
Blessed Ali.
Yeah. So relationship with Bob is, he's our family. I mean, Bob knows my mother, knows my dad, knows my aunts, my uncles.
I know your poor, long-suffering wife.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have good friends and people that I can call family, and Bob is one of them. We're by the way, Ray, we're about to do a movie together soon.
Cool.
And that'd be something unbelievable. So Bob has a lot of characters and a lot of IPs that he owns that we want to bring to life. That's his dream, and I want to be part of that dream, Ray.
Well, that's inshallah, kind of where we're at
you
now.
Be part of that as well.
That's where we are right now.
I'm available.
We're wrapping up financing on my first feature film.
Yes.
Cool.
That we'll be shooting in Sweden and partially in Dubai as well. If that goes well, that opens up the door for a lot more Bobby Farooq and Rashid Productions.
Exactly.
Raise stunt double.
Oh yeah, you want to be raised?
Waleed can be my stunt double. Okay. That would be fantastic. Yes.
Okay. Before we get to you, Jesse, just one more question for Ray. Aside from acting and the voiceover work that you do, you are also a musician. So, what kind of stuff do you play? And
I'm a guitarist. I play a lot of like finger style stuff. I'm really enamored with the old Mississippi Delta slide blues, Robert Johnson Sunhouse, that stuff. So I have way too many guitars. Some of them are made of wood and some of them are made entirely of metal. I have old 1930s National Resonator guitars that I play.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah. And
yeah, I heard you're a musician too. It's true.
Yeah, just a lot of like a lot of like finger style stuff, some Celtic music, some traditional stuff. I'm always fascinated with music, period. Like when I first got to know you, Rashid, I my first thing was like, what's the like music in Dubai? What's the so
I listened to Khalid, but I know he's Khalid is where's he?
Khalid is Morocco originally.
Yeah,
it's Moroccan, but I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah, but it's Arabic. It is also Arabic music.
Oh yeah, amazing. Of course, yes, of course.
Yeah,
a little bit of a different dialect, but it's still Arabic.
I don't understand a word of it. I just know it rocks.
Yeah.
He has a great horn section.
A lot of the stuff I listen to too. Same thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, just a lot of it started out as a way to keep myself sane when I was in acting school, and then it's been keeping me more or less sane for years since then. So that's
how do you feel about Grigri Creole music?
Love Creole music. Love.
Yeah, really.
First of all, that's like
Zydeco, man. I am a Zydeco freak.
Zydeco, pure, just straight Cajun, Michael Doucet Beausoleil, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that stuff. Stuff.
I'm
all
a
that
professional long hair fan myself.
Okay. There's a blues slide guitarist out of Louisiana by the name of Sonny Landreth.
I've heard of him.
I strongly recommend, because he plays slide, but there's a real Zydeco Creole influence in what he's doing.
It's just happy music too, man. Unlike the blues, Creole, Cajun music is happy music.
It's very hard to stay depressed when listening.
When I drive a car, I listen to Zydeco.
Yeah,
because it's just like it's just has the beat of the road to it, and it's always uplifting.
Absolutely.
It's there are very few really depressing Zydeco songs.
Not really many. Yeah.
No, not many. Well,
all right.
That's what Mississippi Blues was about.
Really? I didn't know that.
Further up the river to get to the blues, baby.
I love that stuff. That's my stuff. Robert Johnson, Sun House, those guys.
Yeah.
Old stuff.
Going back to you, Jesse. You are an artist in your own right. So what are you working on currently? What are you doing these days?
Well, I'm not like Bob over here, No.
What old you mean?
No, I'm talented. No. And legendary, right? Let's not forget the adjectives.
I have no adjectives. I'm just Bob, remember?
Yeah.
But no, a few months ago, I think, maybe it was even a few years ago by now, time flies. Some fans asked me, since Joe's not around, maybe recreations or sketches. And I never really thought about it. I never really thought about doing sketches or like anybody cared, but a few fans really wanted sketches and recreations. I guess, I thought about it and I said, I do remember some of Joe's techniques, watching him draw, he did give me a few pointers. I remember, I have a photo with him. I just did a doodle, and, being the editor that he was pointing things out, and I was only like 7 years old and he was criticizing my artwork because, he's an editor at heart, but, he was saying this and that. And I remember this one time I was drawing mountains and I was like 7, and really close, I drew a large mountain, and, it was just like a V, upside down V. And really far, I put a smaller V. And, usually my artwork would be the same. I would draw my mother, my father, and Joe. And he was shocked. He said, well, how do you know that there's a small V back there? And I just said, because it is. And then he said, oh, I remember, this is just paraphrasing, but he was mentioning something with perspective. And he was really impressed that I knew it. And he had stacks of drawing boards and papers that he would just have around the apartment. I remember, I would always draw there every time I went, mess up his whole studio, right? Not to say, it was messy, like forget about it. but it looked like World War III had just happened.
Yeah, I'm not giving you guys a guided tour of this place, okay? This is as much as I'm going to let you see, all right?
You think yours is bad? Joe's was like, forget it. But
old school guys were always just like, it was like
it looked like a
junkyard.
Everywhere. You know? He has artwork everywhere. You know, everything's scattered. 20 copies of the same piece of artwork. You know, you just make copies of. But I would just grab the Sharpies and I would just do my doodles. And I remember he liked my artwork so much. I think 2 or 3 of my pieces he wrote on the top. This is Joe Simon, creator of Captain America, and I am endorsing my grandson.
Oh, wow.
And my, you know, I'm very thankful my mother kept it. Speaking of, you know, Mother's Day, so I'm very thankful that my mother kept it. And I still have that. But yeah, from time to time, I do a few recreations. You know, they're not as good as Joe's, but I like to have my fun. They're fun to me, you know, and that's what I do.
Dr. Rashid mentioned to me that your technique is very, very similar, if not identical. Isn't that right?
I wouldn't say identical. I don't have 80 years of experience, but no, I remember a few things, and there's a few basic things, but it's nowhere as good. But speaking of somebody who was drawing until, you know, Joe was he was drawing until the night before he passed away when he was 98. He was drawing the night before, and he had been sick for a little bit, you know, but then yeah, he was drawing the night before. But Bob and I have a very good friend, Alan Bellman. And
oh yeah, I loved Alan so much.
I miss Alan so much. But speaking of Alan, he drew for me a sketch, and he mailed it to me right before he passed away. I think like a month or 2 before he passed away. And you know, Alan always spoke of Joe and Jack, and you know, even in times where Joe was not getting his credit for Captain America and other things, Alan always reminded everybody that Captain America was Joe and Jack, and Alan was just. He was really fantastic. So I just wanted to mention him in here.
I think that's great, Jess. I loved Alan. He would call me for advice every so often when these cons would try to rip him off or something because he was old and feeble, you know. They thought they could get away with it. But he asked me to do a Captain America drawing for him to put up in his little museum on his wall. You know, he has you know, so I absolutely adored him, you know.
I was speaking, I lost Joe when I was 8. And so later when Alan, I forget who reached out to who, I think I reached out to him, but we became really close. And, you know, and he would just talk to me about his daily life. I'm sure he spoke with you like that, but, you know, he would just talk about, you know, waking up and eating breakfast and this and that. And it kind of gave me like the same feeling as, you know, my relation to Joe. And I told him that one, and he was very touched by that. So, yeah, I miss him a lot. So just want to give him a shout out.
All right. Of course.
God bless.
Of course. God bless him. All right. Speaking of all that, so Jesse, what this is the same. They're similar questions. So, what is the coolest item that you possess out of these sketches, or we're talking about coolest, not necessarily the most valuable or the most something that really cool that you have, and what is the one comic book grail that you do not have but you wish to have? The one thing that you want to get.
My coolest, I would say the recreations behind me are pretty cool by Joe. I'm not sure that you guys can exactly see them, but I'll provide the IT team or whoever, you know, scans of it so they could put up on the screen if they want. But I always love the artwork by Joe because it's very unique, and I'm sure, you know, you understand that artworks, you know, that no 2 pieces are exactly the same, even if they are of the same image. A little things different here and different there. In terms of comic books, my favorite is probably Captain America #2, my grandfather's cover. And, you know, this book is so great because Captain America 1, you got Captain America running in and punching Hitler. And Bucky's just in like a text below, you know, talking about Captain America. And this cover, this is the first time Bucky's actually on the cover over there. And again, he's tied up. You got Captain America. The first time his round shield is in comics because Archie threatened to sue them. And Hitler is on the cover as well. And Hitler was still, and Hitler's face is bruised from the first issue because, you know, he was punched. So just little details like that I think are so cool. You know, it's not a cheap book, but I definitely don't think the value is where it should be. but hopefully one day.
Okay.
But yeah, and then something I don't own is.
I think what it's worth to you is priceless.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. When I see this, I see Joe. I see his little designs over here. And like I mentioned, the little bruising on Hitler's face, all that stuff is just
Wow.
That's his personality captured and engraved. And even though he's gone, his work still lives on, and I think that's very important. And I'm
counting on it.
No, I'm very blessed. That my grandfather did a medium that his legacy still left behind, and you could actually have it, right? A lot of people, their relatives are gone, and once they're gone, they're really gone. But Joe, he has his artwork behind and his stories that he wrote in the artwork that really captures personality. Kind of like if an actor passes away, their family can view them in the movies, stuff like that. So I think that's always very cool. But yeah, no, Cap One is the book that I want. I'm sure somebody here wants it as well. But
me.
Yeah. But no,
we're gonna get it.
We'll get it one day.
Get it, bro. We're
Definitely.
gonna both have it one day.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. But yeah, that's
I have my Demon in a Bottle recreation done by Bob. I also have my 9.8 Demon Bottle signed by Bob. I'm good to die soon after I get my Cap One. We're good. Yeah.
So who's your favorite current artist, Jesse?
I'll be honest with you, I don't follow Newer Comics. I think that there's definitely.
I like this kid.
I really don't follow Newer Comics. You could ask me my favorite artist of the Golden Age or something like that. That's not my grandfather, and I could spew out names, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will know them. But I definitely think that speaking of the newer art, I think it's definitely evolved. I mean, you look at people like Alex Ross and these people that the artwork that they're producing is totally different than what I just showed in the Golden Age in the 1940s.
Yes.
And, we mentioned a lot about how stuff goes on with the times. That's a perfect example because the artwork now, before, nobody could do it and nobody thought to do it.
It takes these guys 5 years to do a comic, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
And back then,
we had to bounce out 22 pages in a month.
Yeah, and then in Joe's time, it was 64. So
and it got paid diddly squat. Chump change.
Yeah, I mean,
we it's like we got paid by the pound.
Yeah, it was
you would understand that, Ray. Yeah, paid by the pound.
Yeah, paid. You guys are getting paid. What do I say about this?
Irresponsible.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now we have one question. Well, there are two questions, and they're directed to everybody. We're gonna take it around. It's a question from AJ at Instagram. So he wants to ask all of you gentlemen. Of course, you're all brilliant minds. You're all legends in your own right. So he wants to know, what do you guys have for breakfast that makes you all so brilliant and so hardworking? So he wants to know, how do you guys start your day, and what is the first concert you've ever went to? Let's start with
I think Bob should go first because I know what he has to do.
Because I'm oldest. Because I'm about to blow all your minds. Okay. I'm about to blow all your minds.
All right.
Especially Ray.
Yeah.
All right. I don't eat breakfast. As Rashid knows, all I do is I don't even talk to me until I have my third cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Everybody who knows me knows that I do not communicate in any sort of language that's intelligible until I've had at least a couple cups of coffee.
He talks gibberish. I've had it. Yeah.
Rashid, I bring my own coffee pot with me to Dubai.
Imagine.
Because you guys don't make drip coffee. So I just bring my own coffee pot.
He brings his own coffee.
Yeah. So I don't actually get hungry until lunchtime or whatever. So I don't do that. My first concert I went to, now this is
all right,
blow you away, was 1971, Indianapolis, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, wow. Now you're in Indianapolis. You're an Indianapolis boy.
Yeah, I grew up in Indy, born and raised there.
Kokomo.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
No.
So my first concert was at Market Square Arena as well.
Too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that gave me goosebumps, and I'm not even been to any of those. Wow.
No, I know Kokomo. Yeah, absolutely. No, but like me, you probably escaped there as soon as you could, right? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm an expatriated Hoosier. I got out when I was in my teen years.
Kokomo is a great place to be from.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's gotten cool. It's gotten cool. The town has gotten really cool. They've got an amazing.
Still Indiana, man.
Still Indiana, but they've got.
When Mom was alive, I had to go there 3 times a year. When's the last time you've been back?
1980.
Okay, shut up.
1989. But I just found out they've got this very reputable comic book shop there in Kokomo. They have a thing called Geek Street that's like all really cool stuff. It's, I wish they'd had that when I was a kid.
Well, the point is, I had to go there 3 times a year up until when my mom died in October to visit her at least 3 times a year, sometimes more. Believe me, every time I went back, I know why I left. Okay. Right. It's like time travel, But anyway, so when I was in high school, I remember Debbie Winfield. I remember chick I went to high school with says, tickets for Hendrix. We had to lie to get out of the house to go because we were like 17, right?
What was the venue? Where'd you see him?
It was at the fairgrounds.
Oh, okay.
And he set his guitar on fire.
Oh,
wow. So, as far as first experiences go, that's my first concert. Now, the local band used to play at the dance club, the teen dance club I go to, and the local band at the time was REO Speedway.
Oh, my God. I saw them at Market Square Arena.
That doesn't count because they were a local band. They were a cover band back there, okay?
That's funny.
Right.
What about you, Ray?
I'm not a massive breakfast guy. It kind of depends. A little bit of fruit, maybe some pineapple, whatever. Like Bob, until there's a measurable amount of caffeine on board, I'm useless.
Don't even think
when I'm in England, my absolutely most favorite thing in the world is a sausage roll from this one bakery in this little town that I lived in England. That's like the best breakfast ever, or a bacon roll. First concert was 1982, Indianapolis Market Square Arena, The Who.
All right. Well, that's not bad either, though, bro.
Yeah.
All righty.
Awesome. Couldn't hear right for 3 weeks after.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse?
I'm kind of the same boat. I don't eat breakfast. Only on Saturdays when I eat breakfast with my friend. I just get the same thing every week. Eggs and sunny side up eggs with just on like a bagel roll or whatever that thing's called. And my first concert, I've never been to one. So
okay.
That's
good. Well, we'll look forward to hearing about the first time
I'll update you guys when I
never went to a lot of them because I'm actually allergic to marijuana.
Oh,
okay.
So I would break out in hives because you can't go to a concert without being pot smoked around, right? And after a while I started breaking out in hives and stuff.
But also fair play, Jesse, as far as the concert things. I mean, when I was going to concerts, I saw REO Speedwagon play at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis.
You paid for that?
No, actually, I didn't. I had a driver's license and my friend didn't. He bought the ticket and I drove from Kokomo. So I'm glad I didn't pay for it. The opening act was Survivor.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. But fair play to you as far as concerts go, because when I was going, you're back when I was going to the steam-powered concerts. It was cheap. It was not that expensive. You look at concert tickets now, it's prohibitive.
Yeah.
It's, so there's a reason why I think people your age and younger aren't attending concerts. And part of it has to do with the fact that $150 so I can stand next to somebody's armpit and patchouli and marijuana and sort of see the band. I don't think so. I mean, when it's $17, great. So it has changed. Massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you. the first concert I went to was Michael Bublé, and I don't know if a lot of people know him, but it was in Dubai, so not a lot of fun. But he's a lot of fun.
Why does this guy with no breakfast in concerts? I mean, that's a sort of odd,
very interesting question.
Well, my breakfast, I eat Kellogg's Frosties every day. If that helps.
You really? Seriously, Tony the Tiger? Are you serious?
Seriously, dude?
But has
you need something a little less sugary, brother. Okay, it's like
they're great.
Are really bad for you.
Exactly, they're great.
They're great.
His dinner.
Ray, I wanted to ask you something. How would Ray Porter say? How would Darkside say "Assalamu alaikum" in his voice?
Assalamu alaikum.
It doesn't sound very greeting or friendly,
Exactly. I would like some frosted flakes. Yeah.
Well, that's great, guys.
Well, I'm very happy that we just did this. This is a very unprecedented sort of mixed event between Speedy Comics, Grails, and all of that, combining two things together to create something unprecedented and new and unique and modern. Rashid, why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we end this panel?
First, I would like to tell you guys. I just saw your question, Waleed, that you just texted me. I would firstly want to tell you how I met each and every person on this panel with us today. To begin with, me and Ray Porter, we met because of the Speedy Comics Con, and I wanted to have Darkside be there, And actually, me and Bob spoke about it, and I'm like, dude, I want to get this actor called Ray Porter. We were doing our Speedy Comic Con before, which was the first digital Comic-Con in the Middle East and the biggest. Yes. So I reached out to, that's how much fun this is. I reached out to people on Twitter, which are the Snyder Cut movement, bring the Snyder cut back. I got Ray's information and I emailed him and he's like, oh yeah, I'd like to be a part of this. But he's like, why don't you speak to my agent, Julie? So we reached out to her. And that was the beginning of me and Ray, and we become like family.
Oh, I see. I got confused. I thought you meant you were inviting the guy who wrote the Ghostbusters theme.
Oh, yes. It's a common mistake. Yeah.
That was Ray Parker. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's Ray Porter.
Yeah, I was confused.
and I met Waleed, who's actually who's our moderator today. He used to work for Forbes, and when we started our store, he would just come down, and he was a fan. And then one day he came in and said, "Rashid, I want to work for Speedy Comics." I'm like, "Dude, you work for Forbes?" He's like, "I want to work for Speedy Comics." I'm like, "Okay, if you really want to work for Speedy Comics,
did you get fired, Waleed?
No.
The haircut policy. There's a haircut policy there, and he just
I think that's what it was. Bob actually came for the first store opening, where I met Waleed, and obviously came for the second store opening at City Walk. Funny enough, I met Jesse very, very strangely. It was on Instagram.
No, you met me the year before I came for your thing, though. You met me.
Well, yeah. I'm coming back to you, Bob, but I'm saying Jesse I met very strangely on Instagram, and I don't know how, but Jesse, do you remember? And we just hit it off. I think it was just, I messaged him like, I'm honored to know who you are and stuff like that.
I remember Speedy Comics followed me on Instagram, where I post comics and stuff like that, and they reached out saying that their boss wants some comics, this and that. And usually when people reach out to me like that, I usually just say, okay, this sounds like, okay, it's a little, but I just had this different feeling. So I said, okay, well, have your boss call me and we'll talk. And then 30 minutes later, I get a call and we just hit it off like it was nothing. And so
we
started talking and chatting and then turned into a recurring thing. We talked and chatted all the time.
Yeah. My meeting with Bob was very strange. I met him at the Comic-Con when we were the Meet the Star sponsor. And Bob was like, dude, can you get me a cup of coffee? And he didn't know who I was, and I was standing there like a little fan. I wanted his signatures, right?
Well, you were dressed in like blue jeans and an old T-shirt. I mean,
and I'm like,
and just hanging out, I'm like,
I went and I got Bob his coffee, and we started speaking, and we were both very unhappy with the MEFCC and the way they were doing things at that time, because they were not
terrible run show.
It was terrible, unfortunately. And the next year, we became close. We started speaking and stuff, and I called up Bob. I messaged him like, Bob, can I, I want a favor. What if I fly you down to Dubai, and I'm opening a little comic book store, and would love to, to have you here. Me and Bob didn't even know what I did or who I was, whatever it is.
But you missed the point. The point of the story was the first time I was there, you took me out to dinner, and you took me out to dinner to the greatest Lebanese restaurant on the planet. All right.
Yeah, that is true.
I discovered that the food in Dubai is better than anywhere in the world. It rivals New York in terms. Oh yeah,
you love it, right?
In terms of the different kinds of cuisine. By the way, this is going to cost you a night at the caviar bar. Okay.
That's not a problem.
There's a caviar bar.
Oh yeah, man. And listen, and Sister Michelle already said she's ready to go.
And cousin Yusuf as well. He's waiting for you to come soon. So Bob came down, and we opened up our first store. My son, who's the CEO of the store, loves Bob to death. He actually forced me.
He's my boy.
In the early days, and he's like, I want Uncle Bob to come over. And Gus, Ahmed, and Nuna, my daughter's in love with him. She's his handler when he's in town. And at the Comic-Cons, you should see her, putting stuff there, taking stuff off, stuff like that. And and that's how.
Oh, you left out Gus. In fact, he gets stuff from Uncle Bob and sells it on eBay.
You heard that?
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about this.
He's a bandit. He's like a bandit, man.
I heard about this.
But Jesse, but Bob, this young man here, when I spoke to him on the phone, I thought he was 35 years old. I didn't know he's 16, 17 years old, still going to school. Can you imagine?
Well, you're pretty naive, Rashid.
Bob doesn't. I don't think Bob remembers, but I met him. I think 2019, before the whole pandemic, New York Comic-Con.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Where was I? I didn't have a table, did I?
Yeah, you were there for Saturday only. I think you were only there for a few hours. But
yeah, because I don't do New York Con. I hate the mega cons. I can't stand them.
Yeah, no, you were just there, and I just approached you, and then we were talking about Alan.
Oh, right, okay.
He was still
I don't remember that, but forgive me, because those things just turn into it like this to me. Like a blur.
Yeah, of course. But and we got a photo together. I remember that. So
that's nice.
That's my first introduction with you.
Guys,
I'm glad I got to know you now, because you seem like a great guy.
Guys, before we end this, I would like everyone to say one thing that that they're looking forward to in 2021. How about we start with you, Ray?
I look forward to, not a guarantee, but I look forward to seeing Dubai for the first time.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Oh my God.
Amen.
It is my home away from home. It really is.
Bob is applying for his citizenship. That's what he's doing.
I'm gonna get dual citizenship. They're offering that to certain artistic people, right?
Yeah, they are. That's, if I'm not mistaken.
It helps at the airports.
It does.
That's good to know. Don't tell them you're a Hoosier.
Oh no, I don't tell anybody that. Right? I only confess that to you because you're from Kokomo, man.
What about you, Bob?
Well, what do you mean once the pandemic is done?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing my girlfriend, who I haven't seen in a year and a half.
Yoshi.
She lives in Japan, Yoshi. She lives in Japan. Japan is under a severe lockdown right now. What people don't understand about the Japanese, because they think of Asians as being super high tech, they're thinking about Korea, China, Hong Kong, Shanghai. The Japanese are steeped in tradition and change very, 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 very with great difficulty. Usually it has to be a war or earthquake to get them to change something. Okay. I'll give you a prime example because I follow the news regularly to see. Right now she's locked down. She can't leave the country. I can't get in. It's been a year and a half since I've seen her, but we talk twice a day. But for instance, one of the provinces, the government was handing out COVID funds to the various provinces there to aid in buying respirators and medical equipment, testing and stuff. And this one particular province spent the money instead on a 60-foot ceramic pink squid.
I saw it.
You saw that. And I'm like,
I saw that.
I sent it to Yosh, and I'm like, honey, what is wrong with your people? And she just says, she's like, that's the problem. We don't like to change. We don't, and their excuse for the giant pink squid was that it was going to encourage tourism. Well, how are you going to encourage tourism when you're locked down?
Yeah, I would say a 60-foot pink squid makes a change.
Oh,
yeah.
But it drives me nuts because I want them to get going so I can get her out of the country so I can see her, because it's a year and a half since I adore her. And look, any woman who's hung in there for a year and a half with a long distance relationship, will never
see
her.
Yeah.
Is a keeper. Yeah, is a keeper. Exactly. Especially at my age.
What about you, Jesse?
Well, I'll say, going back to Bob's point, my mother's from Taiwan, which is like Japan's neighbor, and
except with technology.
But no, my mother, when she was younger, she went to Japan. She has lots of friends there, and they're really nice people. They really are.
Oh, I love the people. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I've always wanted to go, but since Ray kind of stole my answer, I'll say, 2021 is the year I go to college, so that's going to be a new and interesting experience.
Where are you going?
Where are you going to go?
Well, I am currently, it is kind of up in limbo so far. It looks like I'm going to Hunter College.
Okay.
My daughter went to Fordham. Good
I want to stay in New York City, right? I love New York. Can't really afford it, but I love New York. And the only other one, I love business, right? So the other one I think about going is Berg, which they have a good business program. But both of them are in New York and good schools. So
you went to University of Chicago, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did. Windy City. Tell me about it. It's really hot now in Dubai. I wish I was in Chicago, but
no, don't ever want cold weather. Don't ever want cold weather.
No, hell no.
I have two things I'm looking forward to this year. One is the opening of our new store, and inviting all these guests who are on this panel with me today, their family away from home to me, and I'll be seeing Bob much earlier. The second thing is I'm very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to God, for helping me and, allowing me to open my hospital, which I've just done with my partners in India, who are now helping COVID, patients. Me being a COVID survivor, Bob knows, he was going bonkers. When I had COVID, I almost died. So
I lost my mother to COVID in October. So.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So I decided when I came out, after Bob lost his mom and I lost almost my life, that I would do something to help people with COVID. So we just opened up our hospital, which is a 50-bed hospital. I'm very proud of it, in India, which will go up to about 300 beds, and and we'll start doing all this stuff around India. It's almost putting me to tears because having people like Bob in my life, my wife, my kids, my grandparents, good friends like Ray, who prayed for me, and his mother, and Bob, who was praying for me every day, to survive, just left that mark in my life, saying that I have to give back to this world, and I have to help people come back out of the health issues that they have. And I want to thank Bob. I want to thank Ray, and even you, Jesse. Thank you so much for helping me get through my COVID situation. it wasn't for you, Ray. It wasn't for Bob, giving me inspirational messages and asking about me and calling me up. I don't think I would have made it.
I'm sick of you worrying me to death with all these health issues. You're going to get healthy when I get over there. We're gonna get you healthy, brother.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I know I'm being a little bit emotional, but it meant a lot. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Mom. A lot,
brother.
Thank you. I think you deserve applause for doing this.
Yeah,
let's give it to him, guys.
Thank you, Bob. And all I'm gonna say is, I hope our business comes and goes. Relationship is what sticks around. And I know I have family away from Dubai in America that I can always call up, talk about anything I want. Bob being the grumpy he is, I call him after he takes his 3 shots off his coffee, but I still call him anyways. I don't care. But
today's a particularly bad day. Mother's Day is tough for me. Okay.
I know, but that's why I'm happy that you're spending it with us, Bob.
Yes.
And thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you so much, Jesse, Bob. Thank you, Waleed, for having us on.
Oh, one more thing I'm looking forward to. Our movie.
We are.
This year.
The third thing is our movie.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to, because we'll finally get this thing rolling by the fall. I'm just going to be so excited. 11 years I've been working on this project.
Ray,
so finally, with Rashid's help, we're going to get this thing rolling.
We're gonna have we're gonna speak to you about the movie as well, even if it's not for this movie, but probably other movies coming up front, Bob, that we want to do. We'd love to have you on board, Ray.
We'll see. Whatever I can do, happy to help.
Bob always tells me he wants me to be in the movie so he can kill me in the movie.
Yes.
So
it's good to have an ambition.
Just
nice to have goals.
Gratification, yes. Living vicariously, or dying vicariously.
Thank you so much, guys.
My love to you all and to the family. Tell all my family there. Give them my Uncle Bob sends his love.
I will. Thank you, Ray.
Same from Ray. Yeah, absolutely. And Jesse, I wish you all the best the coming year with college. It's a big transition. It's a big change, and
you're gonna love it, bro.
I can't think of anybody more eminently qualified based on listening to you talk for the last hour. I think college will be lucky to have you.
Yes,
so,
he's a legend in the making. Please give my regards to your dad, your mom, all your family, Jesse, and hope to see everyone soon.
Absolutely.
I appreciate speaking with everyone, and I hope we all, we're all going to remain in contact. So that's the best part.
For sure.
But,
and Waleed, the Dubai teddy bear.
Waleed. Thank you for running things.
Thank you so much for hosting.
I mean, I
thank you so much.
I love it any day, anytime. You just let me know.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Let's just all smile to the camera so I can take a screenshot of this. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right.
Got it.
We have it.
Excellent.
That's a wrap.
All right.
Thank you very much.